before.
And you thought those were for you?
Well, yeah, I did.
Because you're the only one who likes Cedar Crest ice cream?
No, Arlo likes it too.
Yes, I do.
And I know how much you love your kids, Mom. Almost as much as your kids love Cedar Crest.
Well, you're right. But don't eat all of them. Your dad and I like Cedar Crest too. Grab one for each of us.
Cedar Crest ice cream sandwiches, available in vanilla and black cherry.
You have a lifetime of experience on the job and in the world. A degree from Concordia can help you make the most of it. Concordia University, Wisconsin offers flexible online career-focused programs for experienced adults like you. Whether you're looking to grow in your current role or enter a new field, at Concordia, you'll learn from experts and grow your professional network. Visit cuw.edu to learn more about business, healthcare, teaching, and STEM programs starting soon. Concordia University. Live uncommon.
Wisconsin's afternoon news is on the air, broadcasting live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue in beautiful downtown Milwaukee. Here are your hosts, John McCure and Julia Fellow.
How about those Brewers? Nice win for the Crew.
Excellent.
Big inning, and they pull it out. All right, today's a big news day. We've got a lot of different stuff that we're going to cover today. Dale Coinga's with us later, so is the Travel Secretary, Ann Sayers. First, a somber day on the East Coast. 60 survivors of Sandy Hook graduated today from high school, and there should have been 20 more.
Their classmates were killed 12 years ago. I can't believe that happened.
I can't either.
It's the Sandy Hook Elementary School shooting in Newtown, Connecticut, December 12th of 2014. There were 26 people in all killed that day. 20 of them were students between 6 and 7 years old, so young. The survivors of one of the deadliest school shootings in American history wore Angels of Sandy Hook wristbands during the commencement ceremony. Some of the memories from that day are still hard to process, including for survivor Grace Fisher, who spoke to George Stephanopoulos on ABC.
Before we went to hide into the cubbies, the loudspeaker went on, and this was probably, I would say, like the most traumatizing part of the whole thing, because we heard our principal and she told us, kids, like, go hide into your safe spots, and then we heard like a popping sound, and then the phone kind of went off.
You actually heard the gunshots?
Mm-hmm. Really hard. Another student, Emma Ahrens, graduating today, was actually in the classroom with the shooter.
We were reading a book in the front of the classroom before it happened, and I remember a couple days before they were doing construction on the roof, so when the poppings sounds started happening, we thought it was just more construction on the roof, or they're just building something, don't worry. But I remember being at the front of the classroom, and he came in and stood right next to me, and I watched all my friends drop, and one of the victims did not make it. He told me and a couple other people to run, and we did. We ran out of the classroom, out of the school, and on the way we saw bodies in the hallways and doors blown off the hinges, and we just ran and ran and ran out of the school, out of the parking lot.
How haunting. He told you to run.
Yeah.
Very difficult. One of the students wants to be a therapist, another one a politician, another one a lawyer, but left behind are lasting effects. Take a listen to two boys here.
I mean, the tragedy never ends. The friends, family who were lost that day, the smiling faces that should be filling the seats in your classroom, the parents who should be able to watch their kids graduate, get married, the kids when they'll be able to hug their parents again. It's never over.
You know, it's happened too many times. Your prayers honestly don't mean anything. It doesn't help me. I've had to deal with this for 10 years. It'll never get easier no matter how many times I talk about it.
It's difficult. The victims of the shooting are being honored during the graduation ceremony today, but specific details were not released. I tried to get more information. No live stream today of the graduation ceremony, which is understandable. 330 students will be graduating with these Sandy Hook survivors, 60 of them.
Couple of details just before I came in here, Julia. They're reading the names of all the students that were killed at the graduation. Can you imagine how emotional that is? And all the graduates are wearing green and white ribbons on their graduation gowns that say "Forever in Our Hearts." It is 4:27 at WTMJ. Let's check out the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Kind of an interesting day. Good inflation report this morning. The Fed talks this afternoon. The S&P 500 and the NASDAQ vaulted to record highs after that cool CPI report. The NASDAQ was up 265 points. That's 1.5%. It's at 17,608. The S&P was up 46 points. It's at 5421. The Dow was up most of the day, and then it faded. It ended down 35 points. It's sitting right now at 38,712. Inflation not going away immediately. Download your copy of Safeguarding Against Inflation, Strategies for Wealth Preservation at annexwealth.com/inflation. It's Annex Wealth Management.
Champagne's not as cheap as ginger ale, and you can't buy caviar for the same price as candy. But right now, you can buy the highest-end Beautyrest Black and Tempur-Pedic mattresses for nowhere near their highest-end prices. Hassellus Mattress is clearing out a handful of premium floor models. These mattresses are the best, and you can get them for way less. Like the Split King Tempur-Pedic Luxe Breeze in soft or firm was $10,198, now just $25,448. Or the Queen Beautyrest Black L-Class Firm was $26.99, but the floor model is just $13.49. Plus, save with massive markdowns on adjustable bases, starting at $287. It's like buying a Rolls Royce for $10 grand, just because it sat on the showroom floor. Selection is limited. Only a few floor models are available at each Hassellus location, and when they're gone for good. Find a self-service, employee-free showroom near you at hassellus.com.
Why settle for just the job when you could have a career in the exciting automobile industry? I'm Jim Token, president of ADAM, the Auto Dealers Association of Metro Milwaukee. The 115-member new car dealers that make up ADAM have extremely desirable service, technician, sales, administrative, and management positions available now, with new ones opening up every day. Whether you're just getting out of school or considering a career change, the salary and benefits are fantastic, and the potential for advancement is unlimited. The first word in career is car, and one of the best places to find a great career opportunity is at an ADAM new car dealer. Live the life you've always imagined. What you do today can improve all your tomorrows.
Go to work happy when you go to work in the auto industry. For current great paying job opportunities, visit adam.jobs. That's ADAMM.jobs.
Wisconsin's afternoon news on Wisconsin's radio station, News Radio WTMJ.
It's 4:30. I'm John Mercure. Your top story, arrest made in the death of a 1-month-old.
I'm Julia Fellow. Political heavy hitters coming to Wisconsin.
I'm Wyatt Barmore-Pooley, filling in for Debbie Loziga today, and it looks like we're going to be seeing a lot of Brewers traffic after
ABC
the
News,
W today, and we're going to be
arriving in Italy ahead of
about 3 minutes behind on 94 eastbound between the zoo and downtown. 94 westbound a little bit slower from the downtown to the zoo. That'll be about a 5-minute delay. 894 westbound, you got to keep an eye out for that construction coming out of the Mitchell, and 43 northbound is the problem rather than southbound. Pretty much solid brake lights all the way up past Locust, almost all the way to Keefe on 43 northbound. And be our eyes on the roads. Report incidents to the WTMJ Hall Mazda Milwaukee.com traffic tip line at 414-238-9329. Find out with Hall Mazda all summer. I'm Wyatt Barmore-Pooley. That's your Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver traffic.
Tonight, humid, maybe a little rain, a low of 68. Tomorrow, warm and humid, a chance for more storms, a high of 87 degrees. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, Milwaukee police are investigating the suspicious death of a 1-month-old baby. The Milwaukee County Medical Examiner's Office says Justin Klug was found dead in a bedroom of an apartment near 76th and Mill. They're working on determining the cause of death. 3 people have been arrested and taken into custody, a 33-year-old woman, a 50-year-old woman, and a 38-year-old man. Charges against all 3 will be reviewed by the Milwaukee County District Attorney's Office.
We are now learning the identity of the man who died after trying to rescue his dog near the Thiensville Dam on the Milwaukee River.
Ozaukee County Medical Examiner's Office has identified the man as 52-year-old Alexander Alex Melnikov from Mequon. Family members tell the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel he was an electrician with his own business serving Ozaukee County and the North Shore of Milwaukee. Alex had been playing ball at Thiensville Village Park with his 3-year-old chocolate lab named Kobe. As of Tuesday, Kobe was still missing, and Melnikov's family hopes the public will continue searching. They're asking anyone who wants to honor Alex's memory to donate to the Ozaukee County campus of the Wisconsin Humane Society. Jessica Gatso, WTMJ News.
Decision, Wisconsin. Former President Donald Trump is scheduled to visit Racine next Tuesday for a campaign event. Trump will visit the Racine Festival Park to share his thoughts on President Joe Biden's job so far in the White House. The event is scheduled to start at 3 p.m. The visit is Trump's second to Wisconsin this year and his first since his historic criminal conviction in New York.
First Lady Jill Biden returns for a quick stop to Wisconsin. She is expected to arrive at about 1 p.m. tomorrow. Will deliver remarks as part of a national launch of Seniors for Biden-Harris. She then continues the campaign trail to Minnesota, then California. This is the First Lady's fourth visit to Wisconsin this year, her second to Green Bay. She made her last stop in Milwaukee for the opening of Festa Italiana just 2 weeks ago.
House Republicans voting to hold America's top law enforcement officer in contempt of Congress after he refused to make interview tapes of President Biden public.
House Republicans voted 216 to 207 to hold Attorney General Garland in contempt after he refused to turn over interview tapes from President Biden's classified documents probe. The report had called into question Biden's memory, and Speaker Mike Johnson claimed Congress had the right to have access.
We can't allow the Department of Justice, an executive branch agency, to hide information from Congress.
But some legal experts say this controversy should have ended when President Biden claimed executive privilege over the tapes. The DOJ has accused House Republicans of using the vote as a partisan weapon. M. Wynn, ABC News, Washington.
Garland is the third attorney general to be held in contempt of Congress. It's unlikely that the Justice Department, which Garland oversees, will prosecute him.
Using big data to relieve patients of medical bills. That's how Milwaukee County Board of Supervisors Sean Rowland is working to reduce medical debt in Milwaukee. Charity care programs already exist in many hospitals, but in many cases, more than 50% of people with medical debt are not receiving helps because it's too difficult to apply for. He enlisted the help of nonprofit RIP Medical Debt, now called Undo Medical Debt, to start automatically enrolling patients.
What's cool about it is that these folks don't have to fill out a form. They don't have to chase down a W-2 or a tax form. The credit report tells the story, and as a result, they don't have to apply. They don't even get a bill. They just don't accrue medical debt.
Rowland tells Spanning the State that policies at the local health systems will forgive hospital expenses for patients below the 300% of the federal poverty level.
The Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources has issued an air quality advisory for Wisconsin's lakeshore counties. This affects people living in Milwaukee, Kenosha, Racine, Ozaukee, and Sheboygan counties today. The air quality is expected to reach unhealthy levels for people who experience breathing or lung issues such as asthma. It can also impact children and anyone spending a lot of time outside, including outdoor workers and those exercising. The advisory runs until 11 tonight.
Time for a WTMJ sports update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. The first place Brewers take the series against the Toronto Blue Jays, winning 5-4. They get a day off before starting a 3-game series with the Reds. Our Packers' 3-day mandatory minicamp resumes today. The Packers, an agent for QB Jordan Love, are reportedly working towards a contract extension. Packers training camp begins July 22nd. NBA all-time great Jerry West passed away at the age of 86 today.
Siding Unlimited WTMJ News Time, 4:36.
Hey, it's WTMJ's Steve Scafidi for Universal Windows Direct. Spring is here. It's only going to get hotter from here on out. Do not cool off the outside of your house this year. Call my guys at Universal Windows Direct. Super spacer technology. What does that mean? It keeps the edge of the glass warmer, holds the window seal longer, and makes the windows last up to 5 times longer than other window systems. So your windows from Universal Windows Direct perform better and last longer. Plus, Universal Windows Direct backs it up with a true lifetime warranty as long as you own the home and a 20-year warranty to the next homeowner. Plus, 0% financing for 60 months. Updating your windows with Universal Windows Direct means extra protection from the elements, a consistent temperature in your home, increased energy efficiency, and reduced heating and cooling costs, plus a quieter and more comfortable home. For every 2 windows you buy, you get the next 2 free, plus 0% financing for 60 months. That's 5 years. Restrictions apply. Tell them I told you to call. Get an additional $250 off your project. Go to uwd.com. Like me, you'll be saying, I love my windows.
Travel Wisconsin coming up here is sponsored by TravelWisconsin.com.
I can remember the exact moment while we were sampling pizza on an East Coast food tour when we said, we need to highlight the culture and cuisine of the Midwest too. I felt drawn to showing off my hometown in a way that honored its past and present. And here we are, 16 years later, doing exactly that. I'm Teresa Emmons, founder of Milwaukee Food and City Tours and Chicago Food and City Tours. I hope you'll join us in Milwaukee or Chicago for a food tour this summer. Reserve your tour at MilwaukeeFoodTours.com or ChicagoFoodTours.com.
One of the best segments of the week is always with our very dear friend Ann Sayer. She is the travel secretary. She's number 1 of 50. 1 of 50. Ann is with us this afternoon. Ann, it's so good to talk with you.
Hi, team. It's great to be here.
I love this topic because this is a big part of our history and our heritage. It's Native American culture, and this is a big deal in Wisconsin.
It is. We have 11 federally recognized tribal nations here in Wisconsin, and that means that there's just so much for the visitor to experience, from cultural attractions to outdoor recreation and so much more.
Now, Anne, there's an unforgettable powwow experience I hear about. You can visit Red Cliff.
That's right, the Red Cliff Band of Lake Superior Chippewa. This is a public event. They're invited to enjoy the 46th annual Red Cliff Powwow for fun, food, and pageantry. It's a family-friendly event. It's happening July 5th through the 7th, and you are going to be so impressed as the artists compete in traditional dancing and singing contests throughout the weekend. You can start by catching a ceremony that's the evening of Friday, July 5th, to crown the powwow royalty, and follow that up by joining a walk-run in the morning on Saturday. And then for a bite to eat, you can take the ferry, which is fun in and of itself, over to Madeline Island to dine at Nijim. Chef Bryce Stevenson, who's a member of Red Cliff Band, operates this fine dining restaurant. You may have recently seen him on Top Chef.
Yes.
He prepares Native American dishes with ingredients like venison, duck, squash, and wild rice with a twist of French flair. So cool. And then you can get out on Lake Superior by reserving a kayaking tour through the rustic Makwa Den. It's a guide service that will take you around those stunning cliffs and sea caves of the Apostle Islands. I mean, just unforgettable.
Are you a kayaker?
It's a sore subject between. I am a solo kayaker, but do not ever put me in a tandem with my husband.
Oh, do tell us. What happened?
No, it's too soon.
Oh, Anne. Okay, so when we go on that double date kayaking, we're all going to have our own kayaks. Is that the moral of the story?
I will be in my own kayak.
She probably had
Thank
to
you
paddle.
very
That's
much.
my prediction.
Oh, well, when you heal up, Anne, then we'll talk about it.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Instead, let's talk about Lac de Flambeau, which is the funnest place to stay in Wisconsin. Lac de Flambeau. What's going on there?
It is. You can plan a full trip of outdoor and indoor activities when you visit Lac de Flambeau Band of Lake Superior Chippewa. Start out by fishing in the famed lakes of the area. The tribe's name comes from a traditional practice of harvesting the fish at night by torchlight. You can get some help from the local guys who will take you out to the best fishing spots in the area. Afterward, head to the George W. Brown Jr. Ojibwe Museum and Cultural Center. You're going to see some of the most complete collections of Lac de Flambeau history. Exhibits highlight a 24-foot dugout canoe, several birch bark canoes, traditional Ojibwe arts and crafts, and even a record sturgeon taken from one of the area's lakes. And then be sure to check out the museum's gift shop for some one-of-a-kind gifts on the way out. And spend the night by booking a room at the Lake of the Torches. I was just there. It is so lovely. It's a resort and casino featuring more than 100 comfortable rooms and beautiful lakeside views.
Did you kayak there?
No, I went fishing, and everybody caught fish but me. And I'm just going to say it because I knew you were going to ask, so I'm fessing up.
I bet you looked cute, though, fishing out there. And if you had fun, it doesn't matter what you caught.
I was doing my best.
And there's heritage behind golfing in Northwoods.
Yes, so be in awe of the beauty of the Northwoods by playing a round or two or three at the Pine Hills Golf Course. The Stockbridge Muncie Band of Mohican Indians welcomes golfers to their championship course. It's a tree-lined fairway, varying elevations that keep things challenging yet playable for golfers of all levels. You'll be surrounded by a feeling of relaxation as you play your way through the Par 72 course. Take advantage of a stay-and-play package there through the North Star Mohican Casino Resort. You'll be able to play around and get a room, plus a food and beverage coupon and gaming credit for an excellent deal. And for the cultural side of things, visit the Arvid E. Miller Memorial Library Museum. It's a museum that documents the long history of the Stockbridge Muncie people through objects, artifacts, photos, and written materials. What a perfect vacation.
That sounds perfect. For more information on great things to do in our state, including how to kayak in a tandem kayak, go to travelwisconsin.com. And you should write a blog on that.
I'll do that.
And it's always fun to have you with us. Have a great rest of the week.
Same to you. Thank you.
It is 4:42 at WTMJ.
The Brewers Radio Network salutes all those who are serving or have served to protect our freedom.
Vince Vitrano here. I want to salute my father-in-law, Master Sergeant Lee LaHargue, 24 years in the United States Air Force, including service in Vietnam and at U.S. Air Force Base Ramstein, Germany.
To all those who have served, we thank you. This Brewers Radio Network salute to all servicemen and women is sponsored by Discount Liquor.
Hey, John Mercure here for Annex Wealth Management. Investment and retirement planning is important, but too many people put it off. It's time to have a talk with the teams that I trust at Annex Wealth Management. Getting to know Annex, it's an easy thing to do. If it makes sense, you move forward. In a time when insurance sales are disguised as financial planning, working with a fee-only fiduciary is a breath of fresh air. It's the way to go. Annex operates as one team. In-house financial planning, investment, tax, and estate teams are in-house. Annex makes it convenient with branches across the WTMJ listening area. Meeting online, that's no problem either. That's where Annex Everywhere comes into play. Inflation remains a hot issue, tossing global tension, market volatility, and a presidential election. You might agree it's time for a seasoned approach for you and your family sooner rather than later. Visit AnnexWealth.com. Click the Get Started button today. We did that years ago. That's Annex Wealth Management. They're the real deal. They'll take care of you from beginning to end. Fee-only fiduciary. Know the difference with Annex.
Quality heating. Heat pumps have been the norm down south, but they're new up here. And I'm a big advocate for them. They're far more efficient than conventional AC systems and serve as a backup to your furnace too. They don't use gas and they're really efficient. And that's why the government basically pays for a big portion of these babies with rebates. So before you install a conventional AC system, ask the man in the red van about an Armstrong air heat pump.
You gotta see the man in the red van. Quality heating, quality heating.
Manufacturers can void a warranty if annual maintenance can't be proven. Having a preventive maintenance agreement on your HVAC system keeps your warranty in check, helps avoid nuisance calls and your system failing at inopportune times. You get 15% off parts and labor on repairs, no trip charges, discounted pricing for replacements, and priority service. This is Anthony Zanevsky with Quality Heating. See the man in the red van about a preventive maintenance agreement starting at only $25.50 per month.
Quality heating, quality heating.
Whether you're an accomplished DIYer or a proud do-it-for-meer, give your home an upgrade with a home equity loan from Truestone Financial. With rates as low as 5.99% APR and for a limited time, no closing costs, your Truestone home equity loan is do-anything financing that makes your home more just the way you wanted her. It's your house. Go nuts. It's true, because we're Truestone. Improve your pad at truestone.org. Terms and conditions apply. Closing cost offer not valid with competing offers or promotions. Equal housing opportunity.
Traffic and weather sponsored by Two Men and a Junk Truck. Keep what you love, ditch what you don't.
From removing unwanted clutter or junk to full-service residential or commercial cleanouts, get a free same-day estimate at twomenandajuncktruck.com. Keep what you love, ditch what you don't.
Traffic and weather. Let's get a look at the roads.
Well, we've got backups on 94 westbound really is the trouble spot. As you're headed out towards American Family Field, you'll start continuing to run into all that Brewer traffic going out and headed out westbound. So pretty much bumper to bumper all the way from American Family Field to the Marquette. We're also seeing a lot of slowdowns on 43 as you come in or out of downtown. Not a ton of problems on 43 southbound, which is good. Northbound will get you a couple minutes slow up past Locust, and then we're still solid on 894 coming out of the Mitchell. It is lightening up a little bit before 60th now, but still pretty solid through that construction zone. I'm Wyatt Barmore-Pooley with your Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Tonight, there's a chance of showers and storms, mostly cloudy, a low of 70 degrees. Tomorrow, warm, humid, partly cloudy, slight chance of showers and storms, a high of 86 degrees. Friday, mostly sunny and cooler, a high of 75. Saturday, partly cloudy, a high of 73. Sunday, warm, humid, partly cloudy, and there's a chance of more storms. The high will be 85 degrees.
We got the Dale Koinga theme song fired up on this Wednesday afternoon. He is the president of the Metropolitan Milwaukee Association of Commerce. Dale, how you doing?
Life is good. If you're not good in this weather in June
Yeah.
in Milwaukee, you need to go talk to someone.
You are right about
You
that.
need help.
Breaking news. I have this in front of me. It's from the Metropolitan Milwaukee Association of Commerce. This is a statement that your organization just put out. I'm just going to read the first paragraph and then ask you to elaborate. Considering recent revelations regarding Milwaukee Public Schools' financial state and the way they've been communicated to the public, we strongly urge its board to vote no on a proposed budget Thursday that would hike property taxes by 30%, an increase made possible through false pretenses. This goes back to the referendum. Dale, elaborate on this, where we're at with MPS and why this position is the position you're taking.
Well, I'm telling the school board from the business community, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't put this 30% mistake that you created on the backs of taxpayers in Milwaukee. There's too many families in this city working way too hard. And in fact, if you look at the data, it's the families that voted no on this referendum. Single people voted closer to yes. It's families that voted no because they're struggling. So where do we come from? The Fed said your finances are all messed up. We're not giving you any more Head Start money. The state said your finances are all messed up. You haven't turned in your audit. You've turned in bad reports. Their correction plan was a joke. ChatGPT could have done 100 times better than what they pumped out there. So there's a lot of different reasons. I mean, we've been just to reset here a little bit, we've been really focused on the lack of transparency, on the 30% property tax hike, on the erroneous reports, all those things. And there's a righteous anger right now in the Milwaukee community about this. But the number one objective here is reading proficiency, math proficiency, and graduation rates, and all those are among the worst in the nation. So we need a timeout, we need a reset, we need a strategic plan, we need new leadership, and now is not the time to pass that budget.
Why didn't we know about this? I feel kind of responsible not asking, but I mean, why didn't we know?
Well, there's a lot to be said about transparency, and there should be more reporting on that investigation. I think that some reporters are now really digging in. MMAC, we raised the red flag and said, watch out, community, this does not smell right. And when we talked to MMAC, we looked at the financials, we said, this isn't right. We didn't know how bad it was. We're finding more of that out now. So why do we not know? I mean, I think we need more investigative journalists in this community. I think that's a probably larger discussion nationwide about the death of that or decline of that art. But now I'm proud of a lot of our journalists are asking the right questions, including you guys. Thank you. So I mean, we just got to stay on this, and this story is not going to die. We need to stay on this because we need reforms. The legislature will be back in session in January, and we don't know exactly what those reforms look like yet. We need to talk to a lot of stakeholders, but the fact is it can't look like it does now.
MMAC's Dale Koinga is with us in the studio. So you offered on this radio show your expertise, your resources to help MPS, and you made a written request to them, I think, a week ago. Have they responded?
This is what we've heard. Crickets, nothing. We've heard nothing back from them.
That's disappointing.
And we've heard from other media outlets. Have you heard back from them? Have
nothing.
You asked for?
And we've made lots of requests.
Yeah, and I've talked to another reputable outlet this morning I interviewed with. They have not. They've 15 different requests in 4 or 5 different ways. They're a $1 billion tax gathering organization that is not answering any questions from the media, from the business community, nobody. So that's not what taxpayers deserve. They should not pass this budget tomorrow. They need to hit the timeout button, figure this out before they go through with this $250 million increase.
So who should take over, do you think?
What should happen?
Well, there's a lot of different ideas on the table. I mean, there's some that say there should be a 3-year state takeover. The state appoints someone, figure things out, get this on the right path. That's being discussed. Looking at governance changes, should the mayor have some appointment powers? Are there other governing bodies should be in this? So, when should the elections be? Should these be small turnout spring elections or should they be fall elections? So, what we don't want to do is we don't want to be reactive on this. You want to do this and do this right. And so there'll be a bunch of stakeholders that we talk to. We have a lot of other organizations in Milwaukee that we're talking to. And there'll be a thorough analysis, and then we're really happy with Governor Evers for doing this audit, an independent audit. That's a real audit. The legislature's talking about maybe doing a legislative audit bureau. The MPS still has audits going on. So, and whatever we see, we're going to roll up our sleeves and get the details as well.
Dale, I want to ask you about something that you mentioned just kind of in passing a couple of minutes ago. This has always irked me, and you remember the legislature for a long time. During election years, our legislators barely work. You just said that they will not be back in session until next year, and we're not halfway through this year. Is that problematic? This is a prime example why we need them in Madison more often.
Well, I think that's a double-edged sword. On one hand, you're safe because the legislature is adjourned on so many issues. And on other issues, the question is, is this raised to the level that a special legislative session should be called? And the governor has the power, and the legislature has the power to either take that up or deny that. That's something we're talking about. Once again, we want to know what we want to do. I mean, one of the things the legislature pushed previously was to break up the district into 4 or 5 different districts. We're skeptical of that, and the reason is that if you have a broken district, don't make 4 or 5 broken districts. I mean, if you have a problem with the CFO and the chief academic officer and the press room, is it going to get better if you multiply that by 5? I mean, we can't find a very good, take it by the horns superintendent now. Are you going to be able to do that with 5 different school districts? So this needs a lot of thought, and so let's think about this and then get at it. And so I don't know if it's the end of the world. The legislature is adjourned right now.
I want to change gears here. You guys have done a lot of work on the role of immigration. You represent big businesses and small businesses at MMAC. How crucial is the immigrant role in the small business boom that we're seeing?
Well, about 85% of new immigrant-owned businesses had at least one employee, compared to 78% of all new businesses. So immigrants are not just adding businesses; they're actually hiring and creating new business. And we're seeing a new business boom that we've seen post-COVID. The stats are that foreign-born individuals are much more likely to start businesses, and those businesses go on to sometimes be big unicorn billion-dollar companies, or they just end up being that small business that we rely upon for the everyday things in our community. So, we want to see more of that in our community. We're doing a series of events, a series of stories at MMAC starting tomorrow, where we're looking at immigrant entrepreneurs in this city, and we're going to highlight immigrants from around the world that came here to Milwaukee and have been successful.
What is this? Is your driving being secretly scored? I'm sorry, I had to skip a subject. I wanted to see that.
Well, my insurance company asked me, we have Allstate, and Allstate asked me, do you want a safe driver's discount by agreeing on your app for us to track your driving? I won't say what I answered.
I answered yes to mine.
You answered
I
yes.
have American Family, and despite the privacy concerns, I said yes.
Okay.
What?
I did. For a discount. I figured they already watched me through other apps anyhow, is what I figured.
Well, that's what this article's saying. The article's saying that if you say no, they're still getting your information from other third parties. So if you have a newer car, then your auto company is tracking your data, your driving habits, for a bunch of different reasons as far as the effect on the car. That data is being uploaded. Those companies are selling that data in addition to these other apps. So, some would say that there's privacy concerns there. Others say, well, this is good because I'm going to be charged for my insurance what I deserve to be charged because I'm a safe, responsible driver. I know I have a new 16-year-old driver. We use Life 360. I love it. It's a great tool.
I have it too. Life 360. It's awesome.
It is great.
Sometimes it's free. I guess there's a subscription.
We've upped it with a subscription in our house because we have that 16-year-old driver. And with 4 kids, we got to see what's going on. This isn't like Big Brother always. This is just kind of logistics. Where's everybody at? Who's picking stuff up? But the speed and the fast braking for new drivers is good.
And it's a safety thing. I mean, it's just another tool to make sure whether it's your kids, it's your spouse, I think it's a safety thing.
It is a safety thing. And we have a reckless driving problem in Milwaukee. I think that's bigger than like the typical driver. That's a whole different subculture of recklessness and Kia boy stuff. But I don't know. I'm torn on it. I mean, the fact is, whatever our opinion on it is, it's happening. And on your smartphones, when you click allow, you're allowing a lot of information to a lot of different parties, and your driving habits are now one of those.
That is true. Dale Koinga is the president of the Metropolitan Milwaukee Association of Commerce. Thanks for the leadership you showed, Dale, in MPS and the other issues that are happening in our city.
Thanks for covering it.
It is 4:56 at WTMJ.
Marquette University names Provost Kimo Ayun acting president. Ayun steps in following the passing of President Michael Lovell Sunday. Milwaukee Brewers owner Mark Atanasio is in discussions to acquire roughly 25% ownership of Portuguese soccer club SL Benfica, according to sports industry website Sportico. This would be the latest soccer team in Atanasio's portfolio, as he also holds ownership of the English Premier League club, the Norwich City Canaries. Menominee Falls-based Staff Electric, Janesville-based J.P. Cullen, and Pewaukee-based Klein Dickert serve as Republican National Convention subcontractors. Milwaukee-based Bliffert Lumber serves as a supplier for the event as well. I'm Logan Hansen with MilwaukeeBusinessJournal.com on News Radio WTMJ.
Business headlines are sponsored by the Pfister Hotel. Make your reservations today. Visit thepfisterhotel.com.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
Milwaukee's finest hotel, the Pfister Hotel, is continuing with renovations to enhance its already stellar reputation. Phase 2 of the renovations is in progress to transform the hotel's historic rooms, with many new rooms available now for reservations. Phase 3 will focus on the hotel's public spaces, set to be completed this summer. The renovations will blend exceptional comfort with cutting-edge technology, reinforcing the hotel's approachable sophistication. The Pfister is ready to welcome you for your next visit. Start planning your stay today at thepfisterhotel.com.
Doesn't it seem like you never have anything to wear? That's why I shop St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores. Whether it's a designer top, jeans, an adorable skirt, or cute accessories, I always seem to find something I like. And at prices I love. Gently used women's clothing and accessories for far less than you thought possible. At St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield and 23rd and Lincoln in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
John Mercure here for my good friends at Dave Drake Camp Heating. I've been having these guys over to my house for more than a decade. They take care of me, and right now I'm thinking about them because it's going to get hot this week. You should be thinking about them too. Hope your AC works. I know mine works because I've had them over for a checkup. At Dave Drake Camp Heating, they know that our climate is up and down depending on the year. They've been living here doing their thing for 42 years. Dave Drake Camp knows that anything can happen. Chilly nights. It's been chilly the last couple of nights, and now it's going to be 90 degrees. Make sure your house is ready for when anything happens here in Wisconsin. Whether you're experiencing a home comfort dilemma, like you got a breakdown, call Dave Drake Camp. Need new equipment, call Dave Drake Camp. Or routine maintenance, which I do through Dave Drake Camp. Give them a call today. If you have a question about your home comfort, go with the teams I trust. They will take care of you. Dave Drake Camp Heating, your comfort is their family's tradition. They've been here for a very long time. DaveDrakeCamp.com. Just Google it. They're the team I trust. DaveDrakeCamp.com.
With hail and high winds experienced this year in South Milwaukee, Oak Creek, and surrounding areas, Ridgetop Exteriors has been hard at work helping the community get their homes repaired. If you've experienced damage to your home, you need a local and trusted contractor. Ridgetop Exteriors' expert team specializes in navigating the insurance process so your repairs can get done. And they're happy to come out anytime for a free damage inspection. Schedule your free inspection today at ridgetopexteriors.com. Roofing, siding, windows, and doors. ridgetopexteriors.com.
Download the free Upside app to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code GIFT for an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first fill-up. That's promo code GIFT.
Traffic is sponsored by Flanners Home Entertainment, Flanners.com. Just press play.
Upgrade your entertainment setup today. For the best in audio and video for your home, indoors and outdoors, Flanners Home Entertainment delivers sound advice at the best price. Flanners, just press play.
The countdown to the Republican National Convention is on. Keep it tuned here for interviews, headlines, and everything you need to know for the RNC. It's Decision Wisconsin, only here on Wisconsin's radio station, News Radio 620, WTMJ, Milwaukee.
It's 5:01. I'm John Mercure. This is Wisconsin's Afternoon News. Your top story: riding a lawnmower ends in a tragedy.
I'm Julia Fellow. You never want to find this in your burrito.
I'm Wyatt Barmore-Pooley, and we got a crash on 794 westbound. It's at the ramp from 2nd Street and Clybourne Avenue. It is off on the right shoulder. It's really the first crash we've had all afternoon. We've been focusing on the delays, and they are still going on 94 westbound from the Marquette all the way through the stadium, bumper to bumper, as dark as it can get on the map. It is a lot of people going that way as Brewer traffic continues to filter out. 43 northbound is getting even slower as well. It's up past Locust Street from the Marquette, now almost to Keefe in terms of where you're going to be slowing down. 4145 southbound is slow as well. Not too bad, but you're going to see some brake lights pretty much down from Mill Road to Capitol. And 894 westbound still slow through that construction. I'm Wyatt Barmore-Pooley with your Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Tonight, humid showers, a low of 68 degrees, a long storm line in Madison, just west of it right now, coming our direction. Tomorrow, warm and humid, a high of 87 degrees. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, a Franklin man is dead after being rear-ended while driving his lawnmower. It happened late Monday night near West St. Martin's and Putes Road in Franklin. 84-year-old David Woznicki wandered off while driving his lawnmower when he was struck from behind by a minivan who didn't see him. It was dark out. He was ejected from the lawnmower and died at the scene. Woznicki's son says his father suffers from dementia and had wandered off before. The minivan driver is cooperating with police.
A Qdoba on Brady Street is forced to temporarily close its doors for 10 days after a customer said they found a razor in their mouth while taking a munch of a burrito.
The Milwaukee Common Council approving the closure unanimously Tuesday, despite the objections of store owner Ron Stokes, who says the punishment is too extreme for his business to overcome.
To shut down this business for 10 days really provides an irreparable damage to our reputation.
But 3rd District Alderman Jonathan Brostoff says when the complaint was originally filed last year, Stokes didn't show urgency in addressing the issue.
It was, well, this may have happened, may not have happened. We're not sure, even though we're missing the blade piece.
Adam Roberts, WTMJ News.
Interest rates are holding steady.
The announcement from Fed Chair Jerome Powell, no cut in interest rates for now, rates staying between 5.25% and 5.5%. But Powell also said the Fed expects just one rate cut this year, a signal it's not done trying to tamp down on record inflation levels.
Inflation has eased notably over the past 2 years, but remains above our longer-run goal of 2%.
The government's inflation report did beat analysts' expectations, rising from April to May just 0.2%. Derek Dennis, ABC News.
It's graduation day at Newtown High School in Connecticut. Roughly 60 of those graduating seniors attended Sandy Hook Elementary School, where 20 first graders and 6 teachers were killed. This was 12 years ago. Among them, Lily Wazelnak.
Going into graduation, we all have very mixed emotions, trying to be excited for ourselves and this accomplishment that we've worked so hard for, but also those who aren't able to share it with us who should have been able to.
Including those 20 first graders who died. They would have been graduating with her today.
Coming up, we've got Polish Fest, an Irish Fest, and German Fest. What about a Beach Fest?
Citing Unlimited WTMJ News Time, 5:05.
Sponsored by Grandview Homes, the name you know, the name you trust. GrandviewHomes.com.
We asked people why they sold their homes to Grandview Homes instead of using a real estate agent.
We needed to sell Mom's home quickly and with a company we could rely on.
No showings, no closing costs, no staging, no real estate agent fees, no added stress.
Whether you have a hard-to-sell home, want a stress-free sale, or simply need to sell your home fast, Grandview Homes is the name you know and the name you can trust. Visit GrandviewHomes.com to discover the easiest and fastest way to sell a home.
Get the beat of the Bucks straight from a fan favorite and Bucks legend. Tap into Here District with Marcus Johnson, a Bucks Plus audio production. Your weekly pulse on the Milwaukee Bucks and conversations with the biggest names in basketball. This week, Marcus and his son Chris expand on the family podcast. Josiah Johnson is this week's guest. Find Here District now on Bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, or wherever you get your podcast.
Well, I would say some of the biggest challenges to building American-made furniture is competing with low overseas wages. America has higher wages.
Ben and Arvid Huth from Penny Mustard Furnishings.
It's still a big benefit to make it in the United States because even though labor costs are higher, we all know the American worker is the most efficient, most productive worker in the world, especially employees in the Midwest. Midwest people are renowned for their work ethic. There's advantages to that outweigh extra labor cost. And there's also a lot of other advantages. Freight costs are way cheaper if it's made locally.
If you build furniture in China and you send it to the Midwest, it's 8,000 miles to get here. And in order to make that travel, you have to be well packaged, heavy cardboard, lots of foam, lots of bubble wrap. We don't do any of that.
Not very environmentally friendly.
No, not very environmentally friendly if you're concerned about that, but we just use a blanket, right? Our furniture travels from the wood shop to our warehouse and right to the customer. And everything's touched by our people. We have no third party touching any of that, so we can control that quality.
PennyMustard.com.
Citing Unlimited WTMJ News Time, 5:06.
Beach parties are coming to Milwaukee.
Brew City is the city of festivals, but the beaches have been historically underutilized, says Steph Salvia. She's with Joy Engine, and they're producing a series of beach parties this summer, 2 at Bradford and 2 at South Shore. There will be music plus art. Big art.
Giant sea creatures that they are calling cephalopods that will be painted in crazy colors, and we're talking like 45-foot tentacles and that sort of thing.
The first beach party put on by Joy Engine will be Wednesday, July 10th. Eric Bilstead, WTMJ News.
Time for a WTMJ sports update from the Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all sports desk. The first place Brewers take the series against the Blue Jays. 5-4, they win today. They get a one-day break before starting a three-game series with the Cincinnati Reds. The Packers' three-day mandatory minicamp resumed today. The Packers and agent for quarterback Jordan Love are reportedly working toward a contract extension. Love appreciates the discussions, but doesn't appear to be in any mood to talk about it.
Oh, yeah, I like to be in the mix.
And that's that?
That's that. In short, yeah, it is.
Packers training camp begins July 22nd. And the Celtics and Mavs meet up tonight in Game 3 of the NBA Finals in Dallas. The Celtics own a 2-zip series lead.
Citing unlimited WTMJ News Time, 5:08.
This report sponsored by Pella of Wisconsin. Discover Pella now, pay later at PellaWI.com.
Many people with unique homes reach out to Pella because our team of experts can customize windows and doors that match architecture from any era.
I love that I have a home that just can't be made anymore. It's 100 years old, it's a historic district, and we didn't want to ruin the look by having modern windows in an older home. I had a vision for what I wanted our home to look like. When I found out that Pella had an architecturally accurate product line, they simply guided us and helped us to make a great decision for our home.
Hi, I'm Gina Della from Pella. Our premium windows and doors offer nearly endless possibilities and design flexibility with dramatic sizes, custom colors, finishes, profiles, product types, and more. Pella's products stand the test of time, and we have the best wood warranty in the industry to prove it. So whether you had your home built or you choose to live in a historic residence, order today and get 0% interest for up to 48 months at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Certain restrictions apply at 6/30/2024.
Wisconsin's afternoon news is on the air, broadcasting live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue in beautiful downtown Milwaukee. Here are your hosts, John McCure and Julia Fellow.
Hey, we've got an update for you on a story that we've been tracking. It's the Baraboo story. The superintendent responding to controversy happening during high school graduation, saying the world is watching.
I think that we're talking about the Janesville, no? Oh, no. 508, Janesville, right?
Oh, I'm sorry. Let me say that over again. We've got an update for you on a story out of Janesville where two teachers were naughty teachers, and there's new information this afternoon. Sorry about that. Take us to Janesville. Give us the update.
That's okay. Okay, so if you text 855-616-1620, you'll see the photos of the two teachers who just resigned. Twisted details about these two ladies that now resigned. They're both business teachers at Craig High School. Former teachers now, Alexia Saldaris and Jennifer Larson. Again, if you text 855-616-1620, one of them isn't small, I'll tell you that. It's really bad. Both are accused of sexting with a high schooler while they were on a school trip, offering to cuddle and drink alcohol. And one of the teachers, Alexia Saldaris, is accused of sending photos to the teen in her underwear, asking him to join her. Both of them. And we're learning, John, it gets worse. The Snapchat messages leaked online found both teachers were trying to get a second underage high schooler to join them, offering a foursome.
What?
Yep. It's not just one lewd photo that Janesville teacher Alexia Saldaris is accused of sending to the teen on social media. She sent 5 photos to the teen in her bra and underwear and lingerie. Jennifer Larson is accused of flirting on the app with a student, saying the two teachers wanted to cuddle with the student, have fun, give him alcohol, and ask if the student would join them. 2 days after that school trip, the district leader was told a group of boys were seen laughing around a phone. And the teacher says that she was 95% sure the photos were of the boys looking at that teacher in lingerie.
Of course, they were showing it off to their buddies.
So I've learned this. As the walls were falling in on these two teachers, Larson reported and told on the other teacher and said she let the student drive while they were on the school trip. We don't know what happened in the van. Apparently that did happen. Only that the teacher, Alexia Saldaris, was putting her shoes on the back of the van and she shared a half kiss with the student.
What is a half kiss?
I don't know. Don't want to know. A text was found and she sent it a few days later to the victim. And this is now with Janesville police. She said to the student their relationship had to end. The victim, the student, agreed. The school has now concluded its investigation into the matter. Janesville police are investigating to see if any criminal charges will be referred. I spoke to a law enforcement source before I talked to the lead lieutenant, and two law enforcement sources, one of them said, "What do you think is going to happen?" They're likely going to be charged. The lead Janesville police detective tells me they're doing more investigating and they may have a development next Monday. I found out the lead detective is out of town until then, so that's probably why. An educator convicted of having sexual contact with a child can be sentenced up to 6 years in prison, and they must register as a sex offender for life. Our state law criminalizes educator sexual misconduct. It's not good. It's just getting worse. This story.
The details are worse and worse. So if you want to see the teachers, we've got a picture of these teachers. Lots of people have been asking us what they look like. We've got the pictures up right now. If you text the word WATCH, WATCH, WATCH to 855-616-1620. Rhea, let's leave the pictures up for a little bit. You can see the two teachers. Their pictures are up on our watch screen right now.
So I got one of them from the actual Instagram from Craig High School. And then the other one was the LinkedIn of the lady, where 3 years ago she said that she was looking, to help students and everything. Please hire me.
That's Saldaris, right?
Mm-hmm. The blonde. And then the other one was at the school for 11 years.
I just can't. I'm really literally having a hard time wrapping my head around this, that two female teachers want to have a foursome with two students and are sending inappropriate pictures, inappropriate Snapchats. This is disgusting. And every new detail that comes out that you're uncovering just makes it more troublesome.
It's disgusting.
Unbelievable. Check out the teachers by texting the word WATCH to 855-616-1620. Up next, we change gears. It's another disturbing story, but one that might have lessons for parents. It's out of Oregon. It involves a teenage slumber party. That's up next on WTMJ.
This is Libby Collins. Have you ever thought about being an attorney? What about being a nun? Well, how about being both? This week on Conversations, we talk with Sister Deborah Ciano, the provincial leader of the School Sisters of Notre Dame.
My life was threatened, even in court. I had one situation where somebody actually threatened to kill me. We were in the courtroom. It was not easy.
WTMJ Conversations, Sunday mornings at 11 on WTMJ.
Hey, John Mercure here for Connect Chiropractic. A couple of locations, Delafield and Tosa. Dr. Alex, Dr. Marley, Dr. Olivia, they've got me in great shape. I've been working out a lot in the yard. Stuff, heavy-duty stuff, too. Cut down a couple of big trees, had the chainsaw out. I'm achy, and my back isn't great. My neck is always giving me problems. At Connect Chiropractic, it's a nuanced, long-term care focus on total wellness. When I'm at one of their places, and I was just at the location in Delafield yesterday, it's not twisting, cracking, popping, feeling like the chiropractor's jumping off the high dive and landing on your back. It's more nuanced. They've got a cool device they use, which just targets where you need targeting. It's Connect Chiropractic, doing things the right way with those two locations. Connect Chiropractic. Get in touch today.
Here's to sweet summer days together with friends and family in Wisconsin. To discovering magic in every moment.
Hey, Mom, over here.
And to reconnecting through a world filled with wonder.
Wow.
Here's to supper club celebrations and dancing until the sun goes down. Here's to those who Wisconsin. Plan your summer getaway at travelwisconsin.com.
Don't paint, don't vinyl, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Time for another new coat of paint on your house? Get Rhino Shield ceramic coating. You won't have to paint again for 25 years guaranteed. Now until June 21st, get 15% off with 12 months same as cash financing. Visit rhinoshieldwis.com.
Don't paint, don't vinyl, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Traffic and weather sponsored by Sendik's Food Market, your trusted local grocer since 1926.
Check out new low prices on your favorite items at Sendik's, like 6-ounce Yoplait yogurt for just 79 cents every day. Sendik's, your trusted local grocer.
Traffic and weather begins with traffic. That's with Wyatt this afternoon, who's in for Deb. Hey, Wyatt.
Hey, John, we got a lot of rush hour brake lights going on right now. 94 westbound is still very slow from downtown to the stadium, and it's been bumper to bumper for quite a while now and is still not getting any better. We've also got a slowdown on 94 coming out, 94 westbound coming out of the Zoo interchange, and just coming in actually right now. It looks like in the stadium interchange, there's a crash at the ramp from Highway 175 southbound. This is actually on 94 eastbound, but it looks like it's still quite a bit of a mess around American Family Field. 43 now getting slow, both north and southbound. North up from the Marquette past Locust, and southbound now from Hampton down past Capitol all the way to Keefe. I'm Wyatt Barmar-Pooley with your Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
The WTMJ 5-day forecast tonight, we're going to get some rain. Showers are likely, low of 70 degrees tonight. There is a strong line of storms right now. It is west of Madison. It will get here later tonight, a low of 70. Tomorrow, warm, humid, a chance for rain, a high of 86. On Friday, we cool it back off. Sunny with a high of 75. Saturday, partly cloudy, 73. Sunday, warm and humid again. Another chance for rain on Sunday, a high of 85 degrees. Right now in Milwaukee, it's 87. All right, so we were just having the discussion about the two pervert teachers in Janesville who wanted to have a foursome, two female teachers with the two male students. If you'd like to see a picture of the teachers, you can text the word WATCH to 855-616-1620. Right now the pictures are up. WATCH to 855-616-1620. That takes you to our video feed. You can always watch the show. We've got state-of-the-art cameras here in the studio. And now you can see the pictures of the two student teachers at the heart of this terrible story.
Just more twisted details about the two now former Janesville teachers that resigned. I can't believe that I found out more details that just got worse.
So yesterday we reported that the two teachers at the same time were going after one student.
Yes.
They were engaging with one student and sending inappropriate pictures of them in their lingerie.
While on a school trip.
And now you found out today that both teachers wanted to tag team two students. They wanted a foursome.
A foursome, and basically the teachers were trying to get that victim to recruit another child, another student on that trip. So now I got a hold, if you text 855-616-1620, you can see the split screen of the two women who are expected to be charged very soon. I got off the phone just a couple of hours ago with a Janesville lieutenant who leads the detective of the detective team of the police department, and she says that maybe by next Monday they'll have charges against these two women. It's a felony.
So I talked to a former superintendent, detective in Waukesha County yesterday, and I was asking him, and you can see the pictures of the two teachers if you text the word WATCH. You'll see that one is, they're both on the younger side, but one is very young, blonde. And I was asking him, does that surprise you? Because she's so young, like, why would she need to do this? And he said oftentimes with young teachers, it's because they feel like the age barrier isn't that great. And I don't know what it is, but in this case, it might be 10 years. It might be 15 years. I mean, say the kid is 17 years old. Judge for yourself by texting the word WATCH, and you can see pictures of the two teachers. So just say that she's 27 years old. I think she's a little older than that. She's probably in her young 30s, it looks like.
I think she's 25 or 26 because 3 years ago on her LinkedIn, it said, I'm looking for a job. I just graduated from UW-Whitewater. So she would have been maybe 21 if she
So now she's 25 at the oldest, probably.
25, 26.
Yep.
And the other one looks old. And
she's definitely older, but she's not an
charge.
old lady, but she's older. So if you want to see what the teachers look like as we talk about this story, text the word WATCH to 855-616-1620. I wonder why the charges haven't been filed yet. Usually, suspects are not named. Most news organizations will not name a suspect until charges have been filed unless there's extenuating circumstances. And in this case, there are extenuating circumstances.
The district did a huge investigation dump and just gave it to the media on everything they found. And the Janesville lead detective was like, just get your hands on those details. That's everything that we have.
It's just the craziest story. Does it seem like this is more prevalent than it used to be? Like when we were growing up, you know this happened, but has the onset of technology, Snapchat, text messaging, it's made it easier for people to misbehave. In the past, if you were a teacher, you had to physically talk to a student. You need to pull the student aside. Now with a phone, It's so easy. So I want to know if there's more bad behavior or if it's just that we're more aware of the bad behavior.
This was on Snapchat.
Have you ever used Snapchat?
Yes, you think that the photos disappear, but they never do.
Nothing ever totally is anonymous or disappears.
And by the way, you can do a screenshot. She sent 5 photos in her bra and underwear to this underage child. It's sick.
It's just really, almost literally, hard to believe. I want to tell you, we just have 1 minute here. Text the word watch if you want to see the pictures. 855-616-1620. We're going to keep them up there only for another minute, so check it out. Speaking about people taking their clothes off, I know this is a weird transition. Airline passengers on a flight in Athens said it got so hot on the airplane where they were sitting in a delay for 90 minutes. It got 95 degrees in the airplane. They were on the tarmac. There was a technical issue, so they weren't allowed to get off the plane. So guess what? People on the Qatar Airlines Boeing 777 began to strip down. People were sweating. People were dehydrating. 1 hour in, they were getting hot. 2 hours in, they were feeling sick. 3 hours in, they were passing out. Video online shows that people on the airline, which were not allowed to get off, were taking off their clothes. There's pictures of men without their shirts on with sweat dripping down them. Women were beginning to strip down. Finally, because it was a health issue, they allowed them off the airplane as the air conditioning continued to malfunction on this Qatar Airways jet that was sitting on the tarmac in Athens. It is a crazy,
Did you have that happen to you ever?
No, we've sat in a delay for a long time, and that's the most frustrating thing.
I did in Washington, D.C., and the AC went out.
Oh.
It was a little over 3 hours. It was so hot, John.
And can you imagine you're in Athens?
No.
It was over 100 degrees outside. It got to be 95 on the ground. It's 5:24 at WTMJ. How'd the markets do? We've got that for you straight ahead.
Be greeted by an owner at America's largest employee-owned jewelry store.
Welcome to Kessler's.
Get the champagne ready. The NBA Finals are here.
Welcome to the NBA Finals.
Let's raise our glasses and our rings to the 2 phenomenal teams left standing.
My goodness!
Here's to high-stakes action, to thrilling moments we can't miss.
He ties the game at the buzzer!
And to crowning our next champion. Here's a toast to the NBA Finals. The 2024 NBA Finals, presented by YouTube TV, continue on ABC.
You know you're looking at your yard right now, right? You're hoping it looks as good as you want it to look. I know that's the case with me, and I know my yard's going to end up looking great because Landworks Landscaping is working with me. They're the best in the business. They are a locally owned company who cares about customer service. They've got the best plants. They've got the best crews. They care about how you feel. They want your yard to look great. They want you to feel great. They do all the little extra things. Pull the garbage cart from the street if they see it there. They pick stuff up. They've told their clients about gas leaks, roof damage. They look out for their customers. When you have Landworks Landscaping, it's like having part of your family looking out for your yard. LandworksWisconsin.com. They're the company that I trust. They take things seriously, and they have fun, and your yard's going to look great. It's LandworksWisconsin.com.
Welcome to The Knowledge Brokers, a weekly feature covering the dynamics of the insurance market and how it affects Wisconsin businesses and all of us who live here. Sponsored by the original Knowledge Broker, R&R Insurance. Joining us once again today, Jeff Salasinski. He's Vice President of Insurance Operations. You know, Jeff, we talked a lot about how commercial insurance continues to get more complex as the world around us becomes more tumultuous. And on top of that, you have many agents and brokers who've sold their businesses, which just kind of adds to the uncertainty in the marketplace. What's your take on all that?
Vince, we cannot control a lot of what's happening in the world around us, but we can control what's happening at R&R Insurance. The R&R Insurance ownership model is incredibly unique today, and we believe it's better able to deliver client value. Being a local, family-owned, independent insurance agency with 200-plus associates, we have the freedom to invest in people and resources that positively impact our clients. Ensure that decision-making remains local, and we bring consistency to an important relationship. We are not for sale. R&R Insurance will be here today, tomorrow, and well into the future.
Well, that really speaks to me, and I'm born and raised here, Jeff, and Good Karma, our headquarters is right here in Milwaukee, so I definitely see the benefits firsthand of being rooted in our local community and the fact that our ownership is here in Milwaukee.
Yes, very similar, Vince. You know, R&R is grounded in Midwest values. Our impact extends just beyond business transactions because we invest in the very communities where we live and work. We've been around for nearly 50 years, so our focus is long-term, and our clients reap the benefits. We don't wake up in the morning concerned about the price of our stock because we have shareholders we're accountable to. We don't have to answer to a private equity owner. We wake up in the morning focused on our clients and how we create value for them, and that's a significant difference.
That is Jeff from R&R Insurance. Thanks for the great info, Jeff.
The WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Records for the NASDAQ, it was up 265 points, and the S&P 500, it was up 46 points. The Dow was down 36 points on the day. A little bit of a dip after it was actually up for most of the day. Annex Wealth Management. Know the difference. Welcome to our Everyday Health feature brought to you by the Freighter to the Medical College of Wisconsin Health Network. You use your hips every day, and that can create a lot of wear and tear. Timely treatment of simple and complex joint concerns can help maintain your hip function. Here to tell us more is Dr. Caitlin Orner, a hip specialist and orthopedic surgeon with the Freighter and the Medical College of Wisconsin Health Network. Dr. Orner, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Why are hip-related injuries and issues so common?
So as you said, we use our hip joints every day, and the hip is a complex weight-bearing joint with multiple layers, including the bony ball and socket, the cartilage, the ligaments in the labrum, and the muscles for movement and function. Early intervention is key to addressing any hip concerns.
What are the treatment options your team offers?
We offer an individualized and comprehensive approach to the hip. We offer everything from non-surgical treatments to minimally invasive procedures and more complex open surgeries. Our goal is to emphasize hip preservation by treating conditions early to try and prevent or delay the need for a hip replacement in the future.
What makes your program there unique?
As part of an academic health network, we have a dedicated team of therapists, physicians, and surgeons who offer a wide spectrum of different types of treatments. Patients that see any of our providers have the potential of getting an opinion from our entire team.
Is it helpful if your team thinks a group dynamic, a group conversation might be beneficial?
Yes, we meet monthly as a team of all of the hip preservation physicians and specialists. Any more complex patients that we feel would benefit from a group discussion will be presented at that meeting.
Dr. Orner, thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you for having me.
To find a doctor who's right for you, visit freightert.com/ortho.
Wisconsin's afternoon news on Wisconsin's radio station, News Radio WTMJ.
It's 5:30. I'm John Mercure. Your top story: investigating the death of a 1-month-old baby.
I'm Julia Fellow. You can't vote in that van.
I'm Wyatt Barmore-Pooley. We got a crash now. 94 eastbound at 26th Street and St. Paul. It is blocking the left lane. People are moving out of the way, but it's slowing down a lot. We've also got a truck off on the shoulder on 94 eastbound a little bit further back at the ramp from Highway 175 southbound. That is, again, off on the right shoulder. So 94 eastbound is a bit of a mess right now. 94 westbound is still slow, headed from the Menominee Valley through the stadium, but it looks like it's finally beginning to lighten up. 43 northbound is not, though. It's still very slow. Up out of downtown past Locust. And 894 westbound also still slow from the Mitchell through 60th Street. If you see something we should know about, call the WTMJ Hall Mazda traffic tip line at 414-238-9329. Find out with Hall Mazda all summer. I'm Wyatt Barmore-Pooley with your Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver traffic.
Really humid. We have a big storm coming through. Storms mainly late. The low will be 68. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, very warm, humid, a chance of thunderstorms throughout the day. The high will be 87 degrees.
From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, breaking news from Mount Pleasant. The Mount Pleasant Highway Department is closing Vera Court due to a reported sinkhole in the middle of the road. Public Works is on site assessing storm and sanitary pipes. If you're in that area, steer clear of Vera Court. Because of that reported sinkhole, the road will remain closed until the extent of the failure can be determined.
Milwaukee police are investigating the suspicious death of a 1-month-old baby.
The Milwaukee County Medical Examiner's Office says 1-month-old Justin Klug was found dead in the bedroom of an apartment near 76th and Mill Street. They're currently working on determining the cause of death. Milwaukee Police's Homicide Division is looking into Klug's death. 3 people have been arrested and taken into custody: a 33-year-old woman, a 50-year-old woman, and a 38-year-old man. Charges against all 3 are pending. They will be reviewed by the Milwaukee County District Attorney's Office. Wyatt Barmore-Pooley, WTMJ News.
We're now learning the identity of the man who died after trying to rescue his dog near the Thiensville Dam on the Milwaukee River.
Ozaukee County Medical Examiner's Office has identified the man as 52-year-old Alexander Alex Melnikov from Mequon. Family members tell the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel he was an electrician with his own business serving Ozaukee County and the North Shore of Milwaukee. Alex had been playing ball at Thiensville Village Park with his 3-year-old chocolate lab named Kobe. As of Tuesday, Kobe was still missing, and Melnikov's family hopes the public will continue searching. They're asking anyone who wants to honor Alex's memory to donate to the Ozaukee County campus of the Wisconsin Humane Society. Jessica Gatso, WTMJ News.
Milwaukee Public Schools have submitted a corrective action plan to the Wisconsin Department of Public Instruction.
Key details in the plan include the likely ousting of Chief Financial Officer Martha Kreitzman and the return of a Chief Auditing Executive. DPI says they hope to approve the MPS plan by the end of this week, with the district's overdue audit expected to be completed this September. The MPS Board of School Directors is also giving the public another opportunity to comment on the still-to-be-approved 2024-25 budget. Public commentary and a vote on the budget are expected to happen at the meeting Thursday. Adam Roberts, WTMJ News.
A news conference regarding an MPS recall effort is underway right now outside City Hall. We'll have more details on WTMJ.
Decision Wisconsin. Former President Donald Trump is scheduled to visit Racine next Tuesday for a campaign event. Trump will visit the Racine Festival Park to share his thoughts on President Joe Biden's job so far in the White House. The event is scheduled to start at 3 p.m. The visit is Trump's second to Wisconsin this year and his first since his historic criminal conviction in New York.
First Lady Jill Biden returns for a quick stop to Wisconsin. She is expected to arrive at about 1 p.m. tomorrow in Green Bay. Will deliver remarks as part of the national launch of Seniors for Biden-Harris. She then continues on the campaign trail to Minnesota, then California. This is her fourth visit to Wisconsin this year and her second to Green Bay. She made her last stop in Milwaukee for the opening of Festa Italiana just 2 weeks ago.
The Wisconsin Supreme Court has kept a lower court's ruling banning the use of mobile voting sites in the upcoming presidential election in place. The court says municipalities can use the mobile sites to determine where to locate early voting sites for the upcoming August primary and November presidential elections, but not for voting. At issue was the city of Racine using a mobile van to facilitate early in-person voting during the 2 weeks prior to an election and to set up equipment in remote polling sites. Wisconsin state law prohibits locating any early voting site in a place that gives an advantage to any political party.
Local governments are being less transparent, according to the head of the Radio, Television, Digital News Association. The CEO tells Wisconsin's Morning News more and more government agencies are enlisting public information officers in order to control the narrative.
CIOs are becoming just public relations arms for the agencies that taxpayers pay for to serve them, and that's not right.
The Radio, Television, Digital News Association is hosting a leadership forum in Milwaukee this week. Hundreds of journalists from across our country are in town to discuss some of the challenges the journalism industry is facing.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. First place Brewers take the series against the Blue Jays, winning 5-4 today. They get a one-day break before starting a 3-game set with the Cincinnati Reds. The Packers' 3-day mandatory minicamp resumes today. The Packers and agent for quarterback Jordan Love are reportedly working toward a contract extension. Packers training camp begins July 22nd. And NBA all-time great Jerry West passes away at the age of 86.
Citing Unlimited WTMJ News Time, 5:36.
Sponsored by Grandview Homes, the name you know, the name you trust. GrandviewHomes.com.
I'm looking for the fastest and easiest way to sell my home, and I keep hearing one name over and over. So I asked people, why Grandview Homes instead of a real estate agent?
We looked at a few businesses that purchase homes, and Grandview seemed to be the one that had it together.
How was it working with them?
Not only did we receive a fair offer, but we were able to take as much time as we needed and could leave the house a mess.
A mess? How do you mean?
We tried to do most of the updates ourselves. Needless to say, life got in the way and many things were never quite completed.
And they took care of all of it themselves? Like, it really is as is?
It really is as is. I left the mess and the stress to them.
Whether you have a hard-to-sell home, want a stress-free sale, or simply need to sell your home fast, Grandview Homes is the name you know and the name you can trust. We buy every home as is, and you'll get a fair cash offer in just hours. Visit GrandviewHomes.com to discover the easiest and fastest way to sell a home.
Chief Meteorologist Brian Niznansky is with us. Hello, Niz.
Yo, what's up, guys?
Hey, how was Chill on the Hill?
It was awesome. It got packed. I mean, they said, I haven't been down there in a couple years.
Yeah.
They said that's kind of a normal turnout. It was good to see. Everybody was having a good time. The band was good. But yeah, it's great. I guess next week is when things get real wild. Next week, the Milwaukee Symphony is at Chill on the Hill, and actually, I hear it's like a ritual every year that it's one of their biggest shows that they have.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah. So. I don't know how much of a rager the symphony will be, but but I mean, it seems like it's a really, really popular night for them. So I know they were looking forward to it.
Wonderful. Where's Kristen Kershane at?
Kristen Kershane is at one of the Menominee Falls or one of the Waukesha County tap yards. This one is in Menominee Falls, basically Waukesha County's version of our beer gardens in Milwaukee County. And so she's out that way, and also happens to be like a park and a place where people are swimming and stuff too. So it's a beautiful afternoon, beautiful evening. Yeah, totally. I mean, we hit our first 90-degree day here in Milwaukee of the season. Certainly felt a lot more like summer out today. Perfect for Kristen's spot.
So, Niz, talk about this a little bit. We are watching the live shot here in our big studio. We always have you guys on one of the big screen TVs here. And she's doing her report, doing her thing. She's focused. She's looking straight ahead because that's where the camera is. And a guy with almost no clothes on comes walking up behind her.
I saw it.
And she could, at one point, you could tell she could feel like there was somebody in her periphery, and she kind of turned around.
Yeah. I forget what he said, but he was a little strange too.
He said something to her?
Yeah, they were talking a little bit. So
I saw that. Oh, there was an interaction.
Yeah, they were talking about sunscreen or something. I don't know what. It was a little awkward for sure because this guy. But you know what though? Maybe we're just the ones feeling awkward because the guy sure didn't feel like he felt like he was ready to go. He was perfect for the situation.
The best was your live shot at Summerfest last year where you were doing it near the picnic table and the people got really ticked off because they thought you were talking too loud, Niz, and you got in an argument with the guy on TV?
No.
Yeah, little backstory. So, we had been with the Chaser at this spot for, all day, literally since the morning. And this guy chooses to sit by us by the Chaser. And it's only 4 o'clock, so there's plenty of places for this guy to go. And we're just doing the weather normally. And all of a sudden, while I'm on air, he's like, hey, when are you going to be done? And I'm like, I don't know, this weather hit? I'm on right now. He's like, no, what are you doing? I said, next thing you know, he's really fired up, wanting to go, clenching his fists, getting ready to go. God. And next thing you know, he goes at our cameraman a little bit.
Yeah, you could hear him and see him.
Yeah, so we ended up having to cut away. And I remember, then finally we had our shot up, and he's on the other side of the Chaser, and I'm just in the corner of my eye, and I got my fist clenched. The old boy from Racine came out, ready to go. But no, thankfully, he just started throwing food, and then we ended up getting him kicked out. But
he was throwing food at them, Julia.
Oh, who was your photographer?
Ariel.
Oh, that's crazy.
So it was, and he handled it very, very well. We stayed on air. We kind of diffused the situation. I tried my best, but this guy was not having it. I still don't know what he was really upset about. He was just, I think he didn't know either.
I've had people prevent me from being on air where I just said to the producer, I got to call this.
Yeah.
They're not leaving. They're just going to, they're threatening to say something on air. And I just have to not do it.
At Miller Park a few years ago, I was doing a live shot after the game, and the game left out, and I was outside.
Oh, no.
And a drunk lady came and was hanging on me, and she was she was behind me, and she was hugging me from behind. She's like, I love you guys. It was my last year at Channel 4. I love you guys.
She drove you
kissed
out.
me on the cheek, and she was.
Oh, my
it was
goodness.
Really, really, really uncomfortable. And there's nobody but me and the photographer, and the photographer couldn't help me because he had to stand by the camera. That was terrible.
And there's always part of you when the camera's rolling that you really try your best to not come across as a jerk. You could act just like a normal human being, but people will find something like that. You'll like look, and you're just trying to diffuse the situation. Julie, I give credit to you reporters, and John, you were out in this situations too. Like for me, I can handle like heckler at Summerfest or whatever. Like you guys find yourselves like in the middle of the night in like some really tough spots, you know, maybe a really rough story.
Scary.
You know, people's tempers, you know, are really high and tension and stuff. I could not do that. That's definitely something I couldn't do.
Racine Boy would come out and take care of some business.
Yeah, I don't know. Not me. I'll come back into the Weather Center. Maybe 20 years ago.
All right, hey, lead us through the next 5 days, including tonight, because it looks like rain's coming our direction.
Yeah, so I'm watching this cluster of storms that for a while was severe in southwestern Wisconsin, but it's really starting to lose its severe characteristics. I think that weakening trend is going to continue as it moves into southeastern Wisconsin. If we have any showers left from it, maybe it makes it here by about 8 o'clock, western spots a little bit sooner. Then just humid tonight, and then a potential another round of scattered showers and storms during the early morning, the low of 68. Thursday, partly cloudy, very warm and humid, a high of 87. Chance of storms Thursday early afternoon. Watch out for those. Those could be on the stronger side. Friday, mostly sunny, cooler again, 73 lakeside, 77 inland. Saturday, slight chance of storms late. I think most of us stay dry, 75, and then heating back up on Sunday. Very warm and humid with a high temperature of 88 degrees. Overall, I think we're really making that pattern shift to summer, guys.
Chief Meteorologist Brian Niznansky. Thanks, Niz.
Yep, see you guys.
Thank you.
5:43 at WTMJ. What's next for Hunter Biden? ABC News legal analyst Royal Oakes joins us after traffic and weather.
Hot dog, get your hot dogs here. Hot and fresh hot dogs.
Hot diggity dog, it's baseball season. Wisconsin's Afternoon News has partnered up with Vienna Beef to bring you Brewers Ticket Tuesday.
Tune in every Tuesday during the 3 o'clock hour for your chance to win a pair of tickets for an upcoming Tuesday home game for the Milwaukee Brewers.
Nothing says summer like a hot dog in baseball, and we've got both on Wisconsin's Afternoon News.
On the home of the Brewers, WTMJ.
From my family and myself, I would like to say thank you to Gruber Law Offices for taking such good care of us.
I would say thank you because you were so human and so much of a friend during the whole process.
I'm super grateful for them representing me and doing all that they did for me.
I would just say thank you for making me feel better.
That's why I'm here, to say thank you, thank you, thank you.
Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
John Mercure here for Griffin Chevrolet Milwaukee. Hey, if it's your birthday, Griffin Chevy gives you $20 off any regular price service call. And they've got great service department. Just present your ID at the time of your service write-up. One birthday coupon per customer. How about this? They've got a summertime savings special in the Griffin service department. They'll inspect and rotate your tires, check your battery, a complete multi-point inspection, check your heat, change your wiper blades and air filter for $179.95. Jim Griffin is the man. I golfed with Jim Griffin at the WTMJ Classic last Monday. I asked him about inventory. He said, you know what? We've got the cars in stock. He told me about 75 vehicles in stock right now, ready to be delivered at Griffin Chevrolet. That's where we bought our last car, a Blazer. It's all decked out. It's black tires. It's fantastic. Great place for used trucks and capable SUVs and budget vehicles. See Griffin Chevy. It's right in the Metro Auto Mall. Ask about the GM certified model starting at under $20,000. They've got the new ones, too. The 2024 Chevy Equinox is at Griffin Chevrolet. The new Traverse, it's there. They've got them all. It's Griffin Chevrolet.
Champagne's not as cheap as ginger ale, and you can't buy caviar for the same price as candy. But right now, you can buy the highest-end Beautyrest Black and Tempur-Pedic mattresses for nowhere near their highest-end prices. Hasseless Mattress is clearing out a handful of premium floor models. These mattresses are the best, and you can get them for way less. Like the Split King Tempur-Pedic Luxe Breeze in soft or firm. Was $10,198, now just $25,448. Or the Queen Beautyrest Black L-Class Firm. Was $26.99, but the floor model is just $13.49. Plus, save with massive markdowns on adjustable bases, starting at $287.
It's like buying a Rolls Royce for 10 grand just because it sat on the showroom floor. Selection is limited. Only a few floor models are available at each Hasselist location. And when they're gone for good. Find a self-service, employee-free showroom near you at Hasselist.com.
We're sponsored by Two Men and a Junk Truck. Keep what you love, ditch what you don't.
From removing unwanted clutter or junk to full-service residential or commercial cleanouts, get a free same-day estimate at twomenajuncktruck.com. Keep what you love, ditch what you don't.
Traffic and weather. All right, how we doing out there, Wyatt?
Well, we were having a good afternoon. Not a lot of crashes, but now they're popping up all over the place. So on 94 eastbound at 26th and St. Paul, the left lane still blocked due to a crash and causing a lot of delays all the way through the stadium and almost to the zoo. We've also got a crash on 43 southbound now at the ramp from Locust Street. That is blocking the right lane, and that will inevitably cause some backups. It's already starting to link up with the delays that we were already seeing from Hampton down past Capitol. So 43 southbound, as long as that lane's blocked, is going to be pretty backed up. Northbound remains slow all the way up from the Marquette through Locust as well. And no accidents, but it's still slow in the construction on 894 coming out of the Mitchell interchange. I'm Wyatt Barmore-Pooley with your Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
The WTMJ 5-day forecast, let's recap this for you. Tonight, chance for rain, as Niz said, a low of 70 degrees. Tomorrow, warm and humid, then rain again late in the day, a high of 86. Friday, it's the day. Sunny, cooler, a high of 75. Saturday, partly cloudy, a high of 73. Sunday, slight chance for rain, a high of 85 degrees. What is next for Hunter Biden? Well, his legal woes aren't quite over yet. ABC's Royal Oakes is with us from Los Angeles. Royal, let's start by asking you a couple questions about what has happened. What are the chances that Hunter Biden gets time behind bars?
Well, slim or none. Yes, everybody's heard about how 25 years is the possible maximum sentence for what he did, which is lie on a federal form. And it asked, hey, you want a gun? Are you addicted to drugs? He said, no, that was a lie. So the jury pretty quickly convicted him, even though it was basically Joe Biden's hometown. But, you know, the 25 years or really any time behind bars is for folks who lie to get a gun and then they use the gun in a violent way. It's very rare to get prison time for what Hunter Biden did. So most people are predicting that he'll get probation and really nothing more.
Let's talk about the other case. I guess the first question I have is related to that. So the other case is a criminal trial on tax charges that'll take place in California later this year. Could he get time behind bars in that case?
Yeah, much better chance. So that involves the feds saying this guy from 2016 to 2019 made $1.7 million in income. He owed $1.4 million in taxes, and he paid zero. And he didn't file his taxes. Only when they caught up with him did he file late. And then he made up a bunch of deductions, saying, "Oh well, you know, the money I gave to a stripper at a gentleman's club, that was a deduction for my business research." So he's looking at some hard time behind bars if he is convicted. You know, the government says that he spent about $700,000 instead of paying his taxes. He spent $700,000 on cocaine and sex workers. So, yeah, it's a much more serious deal, the federal criminal trial he's facing in Los Angeles in September.
Royal, over how much time did he make $1.7 million and now owes $1.4 million?
Yeah, it was a 4-year period, 2016 to 2019. And it sounds a little weird. I mean, you know, people don't generally have to pay 3/4 of their income. But according to the IRS and the feds, that's how it pencils out in terms of his total liability. He paid none of the $1.4 million that he was supposed to pay.
So in all these cases, his dad, President Biden, is on record as saying he will not pardon Hunter Biden. Could he commute his sentence if he gets prison time in California? Could he not pardon him but commute the sentence, meaning he wouldn't have to do the time?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, great question. And the reason people are asking that question is that although Joe Biden a few days ago said, no, I would not pardon my son, today the press secretary for Joe Biden was asked, well, what about commutation? And she said, well, I'll have to talk to the president about that. So that seems to be kind of an open question. As you describe it, you're absolutely right. A pardon is like a giant eraser, just it erases the fact of a conviction. Everybody remembers it, but it's off the books as well as any punishment. Whereas commutation, that involves the conviction staying on the books, but whatever prison time or fine or probation that's attached to the conviction, that gets wiped out by the commutation order.
Royal, whatever Donald Trump is officially sentenced to next month, do you think that's going to affect when Hunter is sentenced closer to the fall?
No, they're totally separate tracks, although everybody, of course, is talking about them in the same breath. And there are kind of two coins to that. On the one hand, the Biden administration can say, hey, don't talk to us about weaponization of the legal system. Trump's argument doesn't hold water because just look, the president's son was also convicted. The point is no man is above the law. The flip side of that is the Biden administration really was hoping that people would really focus on the Trump conviction to impact on the election. And it's hard to get people to focus on that when the very next week after Trump was convicted, boom, the Hunter Biden trial starts. The week after that, it ends. He's convicted. So, there really are a lot of facets to this combined legal/political situation.
As somebody who analyzes the law, does the Hunter conviction blunt the criticism from Donald Trump defenders that the justice system is unfair and targets conservatives and targeted Donald Trump?
Yeah, I think it does help. The problem for both sides is that, a lot of people are sort of policy wonks and political folks who are kind of obsessed with it, and they focus on these issues and cross issues, whereas let's face it, most Americans have more on their mind than following Hunter Biden's trial assiduously. And so it's really hard to know how much of an impact either case is going to have. A lot of people were speculating months ago, wow, if Trump is convicted even on just one case, the least important and the weakest case, the Stormy Daniels case, that still could be devastating because enough independents will abandon Trump, and it probably is going to be a close election anyway. At this point, we don't really know how that's going to work out. A few polls have emerged suggesting that it's going to hurt Trump, but maybe not too much. We really don't know. We'll probably have a better idea in a few weeks. And, of course, it'll be fascinating to see if Biden and Trump really get together on the debate stage for that first planned presidential debate later this month.
ABC's Royal Oakes. Always appreciate the perspective. Thank you, Royal.
You bet. Thanks.
Wanted to end the show with a local story. That's kind of a weird story and I think kind of a scary story.
Disturbing.
So the Qdoba on Brady Street, November 1st, this past November, a customer goes in and the customer eats a burrito in the Qdoba. The customer orders a second burrito, takes the burrito home, gets it at home, and at a later time warms up the second burrito, cuts into it, sits down, takes a bite, and feels something in the burrito and discovers that there is a razor blade in his mouth. He's not injured, but he feels something. He takes it out, and it is a razor blade. And if you look at the pictures of it, it's like a little blade like you'd find on a box cutter. So he goes back to the Qdoba and complains. They say they don't know that it's theirs. He notifies authorities, and now the city begins to investigate. Qdoba's license renewal is up now, so that's why fast forward all the way until now, and the city starts to look at this. They say, well, we think something needs to be done. Ronald Stokes, the president of Roaring Fork Restaurant, who owns Qdoba, admitted to the Common Council that the blade likely came from inside their store.
There's a very good chance this did happen. We didn't see the actual blade, but that blade was identical to the one that we used, and so I'm not disputing that fact and the seriousness.
Stokes begged the council not to shut the restaurant down, saying, it's terrible for everybody. It's going to hurt my employees more than anyone because they will lose wages.
It was a serious incident, and somebody could have been harmed. But to shut down this business for 10 days really provides an irreparable damage to our reputation.
In the end, the council did vote to lock down the restaurant. It is closed right now. What a scary situation. This terrifies me and gives me goosebumps thinking about biting into a burrito and there's a razor blade in there.
Because they said, the Common Council, if that man would have swallowed it, no matter what size you are, it could have killed him.
Yep. Terrible story. It is 5:56 at WTMJ.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee. From the Annex Wealth Management Studios, this is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
Milwaukee Brewers owner Mark Atanasio is in discussions to acquire roughly 25% ownership of Portuguese soccer club SL Benfica, according to sports industry website Sportico. This would be the latest soccer team in Atanasio's portfolio, as he also holds ownership of the English Premier League club, the Norwich City Canaries. Menominee Falls-based Staff Electric, Janesville-based J.P. Cullen, and Pewaukee-based Klein Dickert serve as Republican National Convention subcontractors. Milwaukee-based Bliffert Lumber serves as a supplier for the event as well. Marquette University names Provost Kimo Ayun